Hello, in this video I make a couple pieces of some very cute art. I do little bits and bobs for my shop which I run, and I spend a lot of time working on making this 3D kind of mini egg chicken coop dispenser for Easter, this papercraft thingamabob. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the video. Here it is. Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Started off strong with, dare I say it, a very good collage of a puffin. I'm very proud of this one. Originally I was filming this just for Patreon. I made a whole extended, I don't know how long it is, like 13-minute video for Patreon where I go into a lot of detail, but I just loved it so much I thought, well, you know what, I'll steal a couple minutes and pop it at the start of this YouTube video as well, and then I'll do something extra for Patreon to make up for the fact that I stole some footage for this video. Yeah, I made this and then I realised, hold on, I've got a good start here to make a week of art video, because yesterday's piece of art went pretty well. I'm making a new piece of art today. Let's just start making a week of art. But by that point I'd already edited the Patreon video, so you know what, there's going to be a little bit of overlap. Obviously the Patreon video is in a lot more detail, but here's just a few small snippets from that video, and it's in this one instead. This video is a week of art. It is slightly shorter than a usual week of art, not in terms of the actual length of the video, but in terms of how many days I filmed. Usually I film 5 days when I do a week of art, but this video is just 4 days because, well, the 5th day is currently happening right now as I say this voiceover, and it's just a big day of editing, so there's not really much to film. Plus I thought the video was long enough, so this is, enjoy a slightly shorter week of art, but a normal length video. Okay, I'm going to leave you with some nice relaxing order packing footage, just a minute or so's worth of this before I move on to the next thing. Just a quick little promotion of my shop as well, if you like the look of anything in this footage. My shop is linked in the description. There's lots of stickers, prints, a couple of washi tapes on there. Oh, actually, I should probably mention as well, if you would like to receive this month's Patreon print in the post, here's what the print looks like. Cute little flower shop. The deadline to get it is by the end of April. Just basically pledge at any point in the month of April, and at the end of the month, the start of next month, they all get posted out. So there you go. I feel like at this point the packing footage is basically nearly over, but here's a little bit of just packing footage with some music. Hello, trying out a different angle here. It's extremely backlit, but it's hard to find good angles to film in this flat because it's either just like a blank white wall or backlit because there's a lot of windows, so we'll see how this one goes. There's just a big white glowing box behind me. So today's to-do list, I need to, well, I've just finished. I don't know where I'm pointing, you can't even see, it's not in frame. Packing some orders, and now I need to work on another collage. I did this one yesterday. Really happy with that. Turned out great. It's one of my new favourites. It's such a little gem, I love it. So I've got to do another one today, same size as this, probably this way around, and I need to somehow try and squeeze 3 cats onto it, which will be a challenge. And then after that, I've got to do something, not quite sure what yet, but I need to make a downloadable thing for my Patreon. I'm trying to get prepared for next month, so I don't know what that will be yet. I'm going to try and make some kind of Easter themed 3D paper craft thing. I might be too ambitious by saying that. If it doesn't work, I could always just cop out and do like a card design. But I'd like to maybe do some kind of something like 3D daffodils That might be too hard. Maybe like a 3D basket with eggs in it. I don't know. That's later on in the day problem. So for now, let's just collage some cats. Oh, also the weather's really nice, although you can't tell. If you could see, that's a nice blue sky right there, but it's just white in this video. Yeah, really lovely day, so I might go for a run later on. And that's it. That's the day. It's done. Pretty pleased with that. It took quite a few hours. Really struggled with the mouth on the cat in the middle because obviously it's got a snake in its mouth. Got there eventually though. So now I need to move on to my next task of the day, which is, what did I say I was gonna do? Yeah, work on that like 3D, hopefully 3D like downloadable thing for Patreon. Yes, that's not quite sure. So I'm gonna do some sketching, hopefully try and figure something out, because right now I got nothing. I want to go on a run as well. It's getting pretty late though. I can't believe it's nearly 5 o'clock already. There's still so much I want to do. So I might go on a run now and then hopefully brainstorm whilst I'm running. Fingers crossed I come back filled with ideas.
The life of a content creator. That's it.
It's the following day. Last night I did some sketching of my brainstorm for this 3D thing I'm going to make. I'm going to try and make a mini egg chicken coop dispenser It works in my head. Will it work in real life? I don't know. I'm going to make a prototype here. It's going to be similar to this one I made of a bird's nest. The floor's fallen off. It did have a nice base at one point. Imagine this, but a little bit more complicated, with a pulley system for a door that opens and closes to let mini eggs fall out. And that means I'm going to have like an internal slanted floor with like a funnel that feeds it through the hole. I am inspired by this picture right here. It'll look somewhat similar to that. Originally I was thinking of maybe something like that, but it's just quite similar to bunting, which I did last month, so yeah, I'm gonna try to stay clear of that. Let's make a prototype and see if it will actually work. Alrighty, it's finished. The door's a bit wonky, okay. When I do the actual thing, I have figured out how to make the door better. Basically, I need to put internal supports in so that it doesn't jiggle side to side so much, because that's what's making it like kind of catch a bit. But I think once I have those internal kind of things inside, basically I need to put like strips inside that just hold it in place, and then I think it should open and close a lot better. But I'm pretty happy with that. You can't see inside now. Oh, I guess if I do that, yeah, you can't see. I have put a slanted floor in with kind of like a funnel that feeds everything towards this. I don't have mini eggs at the moment. I might go to the shop later on because I've got to go post office anyway with all those packages from yesterday. So I might buy some mini eggs to fully test this out. For a test, let's try it with some multi-grain hoops. Ooh, I fancy some mini eggs. Let me just open the door. Ah, yay, mini eggs. Yum yum. Oh, this one getting stuck. Anyway, I think with mini eggs they'll come out a lot easier because they're much smoother items. These have quite a bit of friction on the paper. But mini eggs will just roll out because obviously they're egg-shaped. So now I need to make the actual art for it. So I'll try my best to make it look as cute as possible. Although I would like to get a chicken on here somehow. Maybe like I do a chicken cutout. Oh, let me just quickly do a rubbish little cutout of a chicken. Little beak. Little feathers on its bum. Okay. Oh, there we go. There's a... Yeah, that's actually alright, that. A little cut out of a chicken. I could have one that you can just kind of stick on the side. Actually, yeah, that's pretty cute. I'll have a little chicken cut out there. Okay, moving on to making the actual art for this piece. Fairly simple. I knew I could reuse a bit of art that I'd already made a while ago for this other similar project. It was this birdhouse I made, and I knew for the roof of this piece at the base I would just reuse the wood texture I created for that piece, but for the walls of it I knew I wanted something new. So this rectangle I'm doing now is just for the side walls, and then the more house shape with a point on top is obviously for the front of the chicken coop. I kept it fairly simple, just added a few flowers on. I painted on some little twisty stems just in my watercolour. I like to do this in watercolour because I think it looks cute and delicate, and if I was to do this bit with paper I think it just get too clunky because there's so much going on with the wood texture. I love doing this wood texture. I think it's so effective, just like putting a dark background down, cutting strips, ripping out little holes. I just think it looks so good, and then you stick them on slightly wonky so that there's a bit of a different size gaps between all the pieces of paper. Anyway, with all that going on, it's pretty busy, so you can't really do that much on top. So I kept the flowers really simple with just a super subtle kind of watercolour stem. And then for the chicken, I was umming and ahhing, should I collage the chicken, but I've kind of really liked that chicken I just cut out really quickly and scribbled on and stuck onto the side of the prototype. So I just thought I'd kind of stay as close to that as I could. I've recently bought myself some pan pastels. I've done a few bits and bobs with them. I did a whole first impressions video over on Patreon for those who have seen it, where I made a bunch of art trying out pan pastels for the first time. I really like them, but I'm still very new to them. They are an enigma. I'll get used to them. I think they have a really cool look to them, especially when you layer pencils on top. So I wanted to try that out for this chicken, and that's exactly what I did. Pan pastel base, scribbled on top with some coloured pencil. I did a few different variations just to take the pressure off, so that, you know, when I was doing it, I didn't have to think this has to be perfect, otherwise I've ruined it. I've got, you know, a few attempts to get the perfect chicken. And even though I did all these attempts, the first one I went for, well, the one I chose was the first one I did. But I enjoyed doing them. They didn't really take very long to do. I thought they turned out so cute. I want to try and figure out how to incorporate pan pastels into my collage a lot more, because I want to be more mixed media, and I feel like they are a really nice, I just think they go hand in hand with collage really nicely. So this is my first step into trying to figure out how to do that. For the dangly red bits on the chicken, whatever they're called, I just used bits of paper. Alright, I finished the artwork. Very pleased with it, actually. I'm hoping I can pull it together in the editing process. I also just went to the post office to drop off those parcels. I got some mini eggs, so let's try out and see if this works before I spend all this time. Well, I mean, I've already put quite a lot of time into it. Let's have a look. Mini eggs really are just like, it's just a bag of air, goodness me. The finished thing will be a little bit bigger than this, so because they're quite big actually. I think we'll see. There we go, moment of truth. Ah! Okay, that was a little bit too effective, to be honest. Maybe the finished thing doesn't need to be bigger. Maybe if I open the door a bit. Oh, okay, see, I guess it just depends how the eggs have laid. One more time, let's see what happens this time. Oh, see, now that works, we just got one. And then we got two. Okay, it works somewhat. It's just a bit of fun. Sweet. Alright, gotta eat one. I'll do a bit of screen recording to show the process, but I won't go into that much detail because it is a little bit boring. But I will just be editing this art to, basically I'm gonna like map all the templates out. So I'll build this thing just with block shapes first, map like a template out for what that will look like, and then make like the base block shapes, which I will then add my art on top of. So now print off a copy, black and white, on printed paper, just to check all the sizes are right. Once that's good, I will print off a proper one, film myself making it, make a little tutorial for how to actually put it together, and then that'll be it done. So let's do a bunch of editing. I actually love this, I think it's so cute. Okay, so I didn't end up doing any screen recording, but I'll just talk about it now. These are the finished sheets. So I'm going to make this morning, film it properly, do like a little tutorial video. I've like merged all my layers now, so you can't really see what went into it. But basically it's like, this is my scan. It's not the best. The scans, you always have to do a bit of work to make a scan actually look like the real thing, because the colours always end up a bit dull and dark. But it's essentially a lot of measuring things in Photoshop by, so when you get a shape, obviously when you make a shape in Photoshop, you can see like the size of it in centimetres. So basically I'm measuring the actual thing. So what I'm doing is like measuring the actual model, figuring out how many centimetres it will be, and then going into Photoshop, making the actual size that I need. Obviously some shapes are a lot more complicated than just a square. Well, this is just an example. So you make the shape the exact size you want it, and then you get your scan, which at this point, you know, imagine I've edited this scan to be a lot nicer, and which I did for the actual thing. Putting it in the shape by using the clipping mask, and then you can place it inside the shape to be exactly how you want it to look. And then after you've done that, then I add on all the flaps, which I just do by making a shape like that and cutting off the corners, making it the exact right size to go onto the side, you know, to turn into a flap. Then you add a dotted line on. So it's a lot of work that goes into it. That was obviously a much more simplified view of what actually happens, making sure everything will fit, because if I was to randomly drag this piece to be a bit bigger, this will no longer fit the model. So it's making sure that everything is the right size for everything else. And then after I do all that work, I print off just a black and white version to save ink, and this is just really thin printer paper, just to make sure everything fits. From this I learn what's wrong. So this chicken was a bit small, so I've made the chicken bigger. This door was too wide, so I've made the door thinner. What else did I do? I thought the dotted line on the roof was a bit too obvious, so I've made that much lighter. And also the whole thing was just a little bit too small, so I've made everything a little bit bigger, like ½ centimetre bigger. Make those changes and then I can print it off on my nice paper in colour. And now let's make it. There you go, that's the finished thing. Very pleased with it. Is it the most practical way to eat mini eggs? No. But is it fun? Oh yeah. I think it's very cute. I would do a little, I've got everything out in front of me, which I've made this video because I thought I could do a little slideshow. We made this. We started with the puffin. Then we did the cats, and then I did some sketching, and then then that was next, and then did those. Made this big white glowing rectangle, and then made that. So very happy with what I've done in this video. I know technically should I be filming, I've only filmed 4 days. Week of Arts are usually 5 days. It doesn't matter. The video's long enough. I've achieved enough. It's fine. No one cares other than me, and I don't really care that much, so no one cares. If you would like to make one of these for yourself, the downloadables are over on Patreon. The downloadable tier is the lowest one, it's £2, and you instantly get access to loads of other downloadables, like this birdhouse, and just loads. And there's like hundreds and hundreds of posts on there that you get for just £2, plus loads of live streams as well. Anyway, so it's not just that. With that being said, I hope you've enjoyed watching and seeing what I get up to. I'll see you in another video. Goodbye.